Hi, I'm Reid West, and I'm running for re-election to the Sweetwater County Commission. I've been on the commission for 2 terms, and I can tell you that the last 8 years have flown. We have been busy with many kinds of different projects. It's a fascinating job, and we deal with something different every day. It keeps life interesting. Because memories fade as time goes by, I thought I'd give you a recap of just a few of the projects that we've worked on these last 8 years. I hope you find them of interest. This is your new Justice Center. Combined in the new Justice Center are East and West Circuit Courts, so they can better balance their loads, in addition to administration for the County Attorney's Office and public defenders, sheriff administration offices, and a large impound and storage garage. This facility was paid for out of reserves and cost $20.25 million. The old Rock Springs National Bank, located at 333 Broadway in Rock Springs, had been vacant for a number of years. It was a good, solid, sound building, and the county needed space for some of the other departments and entities that we house. This facility holds community nursing and public health, county environmental health, Sweetwater County Hospice, respite care, family planning, Sweetwater County IT for Rock Springs, and juvenile probation. All told, we purchased this for approximately $5 million. The Sweetwater County Events Complex has had numerous projects over the last few years that we've invested in. Part of that was initiated by them attracting the National High School Finals Rodeo to the county, which we now have had here for a number of years. City of Rock Springs built part of the campgrounds, and Sweetwater County built the rest. There's been 860 new horse stalls, a new marquee billboard, emergency generator, and many other improvements, including the tents that you see when you go out to the fair, other improvements to the main exhibit hall, and so forth. All told, in the last few years, we've invested well over $5 million in the events complex. A few miles east of Rock Springs, along the Bitter Creek, there's what we call a head cut that's been a steep drop in the elevation in the Bitter Creek. It's right near what's called Parado Ditch that was put in many years ago. This structure was failing, and the potential damage it could do downstream was high. If the entire structure failed, mass quantities of silt would rush down the Bitter Creek and ultimately settle out in Rock Springs and other areas along the Bitter Creek. Sweetwater County, along with the Sweetwater County Conservation District, the Wyoming Lands Conservation Initiative, Anadarko, and others, all work together to make the improvements to this head cut so that this danger did not exist any longer. This project cost approximately $350,000. These projects aren't too exciting, but they're called sand salt buildings. One in Green River and one in Rock Springs for County Road and Bridge. DEQ required us to put these in to make sure that there was no salty runoff that would go into the soil or any drainages. Necessary improvements cost about $300,000. Recently, a new general aviation terminal and hangar was completed at the Sweetwater County Rock Springs Airport. The old hangar had far lived out its usefulness, and we were able to acquire grants to help with much of it, but overall these improvements cost $5.5 million. The airport is now wanting to make improvements to the commercial aviation terminal. All of you are familiar with the 6 cent, the specific purpose tax. Since the first one was passed in 2001, Sweetwater County voters have approved $179 million in 6 cent improvements. In the last few years, because of your generosity, here are some of the projects that Sweetwater County sponsored. We sponsored the medical office building and cancer center at Memorial Hospital of Sweetwater County. The voters approved just shy of $19 million for that project. We also sponsored improvements to Castle Rock Hospital District, including improvements to the then owned convalescent center and the villa, and a number of ambulances and other improvements to their facilities. Those totaled approximately $2.5 million. Sweetwater County's projects included repaving the county road that's an access road to Jenner and the county road access road to Genesis Granger. Those two projects totaled $3.9 million. Thank you, Sweetwater County, for your generosity. A few of the more visible capital projects that we've completed in the last 8 years, but the county's invested millions of dollars elsewhere. Capital equipment and facility improvements. As you can see, we've been busy these last 8 years. We consider ourselves builders for the county and the communities, and we hope to build more to improve our quality of life. Whether it's more infrastructure, cultural, or recreational, we will continue to make this a better place to live. It's been a humbling experience for me to serve, and I thank you for this opportunity. No matter what happens, I will always consider it a great experience, and I hope that you can support me for another 4 years. Don't forget to